Okay, so a lot of people know in Colorado, there's been and the surrounding areas, there's been a big oil boom. A lot of big corporations are moving here that are oil and gas companies, and they're headquartering in Denver. And so a majority of the jobs that are being provided by these oil companies are in Denver, are office jobs. And they're higher paid employees that can afford higher rents, and the offices that they're leasing, they can they're paying higher than the market value for the most part, because they want to be close to their operations. So this is jacking up the rent, and the very lowest rent in Denver right now in the entire metro area is about $600 to $700 for even a small studio, and so when oil companies that hire people in office jobs, everything from secretary to CEO, are paying higher for those jobs, that's jacking up the cost of rent. But people who work in minimum wage jobs, which is a majority of the workforce, they can't afford these rents, so they have to work two jobs just to afford the minimum rent, the cheapest rent, and that's studio apartments are too small for families. So this is causing a big gap in the workforce. Higher paid workers are not enough to sustain the economy. They have to raise the minimum wage, and so that minimum wage workers can afford to stay in their homes. And oil workers who work on the oil rigs are also being pushed to split up their families, because the oil workers have to go to the oil rigs to work. And so this is causing a big gap between low and high wage workers that's not sustainable. That's an economic crisis. Just raising the minimum wage is not enough. If they sign the Keystone XL, if they approve it, then that's going to encourage even more companies to come here, and we have a ban on rent controls in this state, so the rents are going to go up and up and up, and nobody's going to be able to rent them at most jobs. People are going to have to commute way too far to get to work, and we're going to end up losing workers and losing even middle class workers, because they're going to find cheaper, more affordable housing elsewhere. So the oil and gas boom is basically contributing significantly to the rent crisis and to the big gap between the higher paid workers and the wage workers. And so this is causing an economic problem too. This is not going to be sustainable. So vote no on the Keystone XL for more than one reason.
Could you state your name, please?
My name is Evan Herzog.
And your zip code?
I'm 80439 right now. I'm actually one of the people who has to live far away and commute into Denver every day for very high, the buses are not cheap these days, and it's really, really hard to make ends meet. But a lot of my coworkers, and I work for about $1 more than minimum wage, and so that's only $9 an hour. That's not enough. A lot of my coworkers are having to work at least two jobs in order to make ends meet and just to get to work and to be able to afford those traveling costs every day, which of course is causing more air pollution too, because a lot of people are driving since the cost of the bus is higher, and bus service is not as efficient as it used to be. So they need to vote no on Keystone XL until we can get our economy figured out first. By attracting more higher end oil companies here, all we're going to do is cause a big crisis in the economy and in the environment that won't be sustainable ecologically or economically.
He's going to vote. I mean, he's going to vote for it unless
Thank you.
we make